Action. So, good afternoon everyone. We are here para i-present yung mga nakalap natin na studies tungkol sa gender-based violence, which is our topic as the fourth group. Syempre, pinili natin to because gender-based violence studies are important and are very crucial for society kasi syempre, especially in the Philippines na a developing country, it raises awareness about the nature of violence against women and marginalized groups na rin kasi syempre ganun na rin yan, halo-halo na rin yan. These studies hopefully makaganon siya, maka-inform siya especially sa mga tao to advocate for policy changes and intervention programs that aim to protect the vulnerable populations and syempre promote gender equality or gender equity and improve access to justice. Uh, so let's begin with Miss Desiree Candido.
So, hi, good afternoon to us. So, the assigned method to me was about the case study, and the research that I have chosen is entitled Examining Reporting of Gender-Based Violence Incidents by Men in Intimate Relationships in Zambia, a case study of Chilinje Township. So, babasahin ko muna tong ano ko dito, yung nasulat ko. So, the objective of the study is it aimed to examine reporting of gender-based violence incidents experienced by men in intimate relationships in Chilenje Township, Lusaka, Zambia. The study intended to know the forms of violence men experience. So dito, sa study na to is ano ba yung mga violence na na-experience ng men, the reasons for not reporting their experience, uh, the extremity of violence they experience before reporting it to authority. So parang ang study na to is nakafocus kung bakit nga ba hindi nire-report ng mga lalaking na-abuse ang kanilang situation and gaano nga ba ka-extreme or gaano nga ba kalala yung abuse na mararanasan nila bago nila ito i-report. So that's the objective of the study. The method used was a simple exploratory qualitative research design guided by the epistemology theoretical approach, and semi-structured in-depth interviews were considered to conversationally elicit personal experiences of the participant. So this is a case study kaya may interviews na naganap to observe kung legit ba talaga na sila yung naka-experience and para mas maganda yung pagkukwento ng mga participants sa kanilang experience. So the participants in this study were male victims of gender-based violence residing in Chilenje Township. A total of 30 respondents were interviewed, with 57% having had tertiary education. In contrast, 23% and 20% had secondary and primary education levels, respectively. Half or 50% of the participants were married, with single and divorce constituting 30% and 20% respectively. And then 53% of the participants were in employment, while 33% were self-employed, and 13% were unemployed. So, sa pagpili ng participants, ang kinonsider ng researcher or observer are the education levels na attain ng mga participants, their civil status, and their employment status. And then a brief result of this study is that forms of GBV or gender-based violence experienced by men range from sexual harassment, sexual violence, physical violence, and emotional and financial to spiritual gender-based violence. Study respondents revealed that it is uncommon for a man to report GBV to the police due to the stigmatization and continuation of masculine stereotypes, leading to GBV against men being often underreported and not acknowledged unless it has physical evidence. Furthermore, respondents from this study also revealed that it is perfectly fine for a man to report a gender-based violence incident to the police because violence against any human being, whether perpetrated by a man or a woman, is a crime that needs to be reported. Then the conclusion of the study is that it provides essential insights into reporting gender-based violence incidents by men in Chilinje Township, Zambia. This evidence is necessary for developing interventions aimed at curbing GBV against men and may also suggest the need to design programs especially aimed to create awareness and sensitization among men. The study findings can guide the government and stakeholders on the design strategies to reduce GBV both against women and men. So, in our society kasi, patriarchy is widely practice. Kaya, kapag sinabi natin gender-based violence, ang maiisip natin agad, mostly, or commonly na maiisip natin kapag sinabi natin gender-based violence, that it is the abuse
Desiree, wait,
against
yung audio mo is medyo humina.
Nilayo pala. So, ulit ka na lang. Patriarchy is widely practiced in our society. Kaya kapag sinabi natin gender-based violence, ang lagi natin naisip or a common na naisip natin is that is the abuse against women or domestic violence against women. But in this study, we're on the other side of the story. Kasi ang pinokos nito is yung violence against men na rarely lang natin nadidiscuss kasi rare lang din ang pagre-report nila sa mga incidents na ganito. So, lagi nating sinasabi na women empowerment, women's rights, ganun, gender equality, ganyan. Pero in reality, may mga minorities or may categories na nale-left out dahil hindi pantay yung pagkakagawa ng mga regulations or rules and regulations commonly sa ating government. So, dito sa study na to, sinabi din nila dito na ang may malaking factor ang government and laws sa pag-protect ng mga rights, whether it may be sa mga lalaki or sa mga babae. And dito sa Zambia, nakikita nila na masyado ng mas madaming women's right ang na-approve and there is stigmatization against men na kapag nag-report sila na naa-abuse sila, parang sasabihin na, ay, ang hina-hina mo naman, ganyan. Tapos, ba't ka kasi nagpapa-under, ganyan. Kaya, yung mga participant dito, parang sinasabi din nila na, culture has a great factor sa sa mga reasons kung bakit nagiging underreported ang case na to. So, dito sa ating objective, nasagot dito na ano nga ba yung mga forms of violence against men. So, yun na yung sinabi dito sa result natin na sexual harassment, physical violence, and emotional violence. Pero, ang mga tao or sa participants dito sa study, sinasabi nila na nire-report lang ang gender-based violence or yung abuse against men kapag may physical evidence na siya. Like, kung yung husband ay nabugbog na, doon lang nila nire-report yung violence kasi naprove nila na they are abused. Unlike sa mga relationships na vocal lang sila nagsasakitan pero natatamaan na yung mental health nung partner nila, hindi nila nire-report kasi parang feeling nila it's shameful or weakness nila kapag nireport nila yun. So, in this study, makikita natin na oo, there's gender-based violence na mas malaki talaga sa women kasi nga women have been parang na-limit sa rights and everything sa mga past. But ngayon na tatry na nating ma-achieve ang women's right and gender equality, we should be able to stop yung stigmatization against men. Kasi habang ina-achieve natin yung rights for women, nabubuo naman yung stigmatization against men, which is hindi dapat kasi whether it is a man or a woman or any gender na meron, dapat pantay-pantay pa rin yung rights because achieving justice and asserting our rights should not be impeded by our gender because greatness was never never gender bound. Yun lang.
Wow. Ang ganda rin ng ganun, ng study na yan. Kasi initially going into ganun, initially going into when we say gender-based violence, ang automatic na parang papasok sa isip natin is syempre yung mga women. And ang nice na we're starting off the discussion with like giving light to the violence against men themselves. Kasi like uh, tulad nga ng sabi mo na hindi hindi common ang ah, pag-report ng mga lalaki sa violence due to a multitude of reasons. Uh, like yung stigma, gender stereotypes, and especially yung minention mo na like the emotional scars na yun. Like the emotional violence is also a key factor na porket walang proof na like sinaktan siya physically pero marami siyang pinagdadaanan mentally due to their partner. So ang gandang discussion rin kasi ng violence against men, 'di ba? So may i-add ba yung mga ibang tao? Like comments, ganun.
Ako, actually nagandahan din ako sa sa research niya kasi nag-center siya sa men. Nung um, nung nag-STG kami no sa Baguio, kasi may STG yan, and yung isang STG doon is gender equality. Yung nag-report, mostly lang is for women, which is hindi naman siya debatable kasi, di ba, patriarchal na tayo, ang dapat na i-uplift talaga is women. Kasi yung sa men, established na yan na meron silang connotation na superior sila. Pero on the other note, nakakalimutan din natin na syempre kasali din sila sa population ng gender. Hindi lang naman ang gender is nagpo-fall sa women, sa umbrella ng LGBTQIA. Actually, yung sa research ko, ganyan din sana yung concept ko pero hindi ako nakahanap. So, yun. Nagandahan ako dyan. Kasi ang kinuha niya is subjects na hindi hindi common na magagamit nila na subjects. Yun lang.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Anyone else? If wala na, we can proceed to the next study na ata or to the next research. Thank you pala, Desri. Ang ganda ng explanation mo and ang ganda ng research at saka, yes. Okay. Kaninong research to? Wait, hindi ko nakita yung pangalan. uh, kay Christine. Okay. Christine.
Hello, naririnig ba ako?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yung study na na-find ko is about the association between gender-based violence, well-being, and mental health outcomes among Palestinian women. This is a correlational study. Dito sa correlational study, we measure relationships between variables without manipulation. Pinapakita nito how two behaviors are related. Yung Palestinian context here is that Palestinian women are more vulnerable to GBV due to various factors. Social factors include a culture of patriarchy and masculinity that perceives women as an auxiliary to men and are seen as mothers, daughters, or wives but not as independent human beings. And we know naman ang GBV affects countless women around us. And yung aim nitong study was to uncover the hidden links between gender-based violence and mental health outcomes. Things like anxiety, depression, and stress. Di lang siya about violence leaving visible scars sa victim but meron din siyang deep emotional and psychological harm that often goes unseen but nakaka-apekto sa daily lives ng women globally. The question we should be asking though is how does violence erode well-being and mental health? This study involved 249 Palestinian women but their stories could be just as relatable to women in our communities. They collected data on their experiences of violence and their mental health through social media, platforms, and outreach programs. These women filled out well-being surveys, stress, and anxiety tests, helping the researchers measure the toll GBV takes on their minds and bodies. Um, ang na-found sa study na 'to, that gender-based violence isn't just a woman's issue, it's a mental health crisis. Women who had experiences with violence seems to be less satisfied with life and had less quality of life in various domains including work, love, family, home, and community. In addition, violence against women appeared to undermine women's sense of worth, sense of autonomy, and ability to think and act independently. The violence these women endured was linked to higher levels of depression, anxiety, and stress. At the same time, their overall well-being suffered immensely. We see this same pattern today and with rising levels of mental health issues linked sa abusive relationship, discrimination, and gender inequality. Another info pa rito is that women with higher education reported experiencing more violence, likely because shifting gender roles can create tension in patriarchal societies. This speaks to the struggles we see even today when women who break traditional norms, whether through education or career, often face pushback, sometimes in the form of violence. Same din sa women in refugee camps who face economic instability and the trauma of displacement, experience higher stress of GBV, reminding us of the vulnerabilities that still exist in marginalized communities worldwide. For me, yung research na ito is powerful reminder that gender-based violence isn't just something that happens elsewhere. It's happening here in our neighbors, schools, and workplaces, and its effects are profound, not just physically but mentally. Yung connection between GBV and poor mental health should be a wake-up call sa atin. We need because we need to create safe spaces, raise awareness, and offer mental health support to survivors. But above all, we need to challenge the systems that allows this violence to thrive. And ayun, every woman deserves to live in dignity, free from fear, and empowered to thrive, not just survive. The question isn't whether we can make the difference, it's whether we will. This research is a call to action and the responsibility to respond lies within each of us. Ayun lang. Thank you.
How nice. Ito naman is ang nagustuhan ko dito sa research na 'to is yung, nagfo-focus naman siya sa effects, especially, when the research, participants studied are the Palestinian women, especially as we know what's currently going on with, Palestine or Palestine, especially, their status as, I believe a third world country and siyempre, there are, how do you say, parang naa-associate sa isang patriarchal society ang pag-undermine ng efforts ng women, especially when they try to challenge gender norms or gender roles, nagkakaroon nga ng tension. So like, yeah, it's it's good na makita rin yung effects niya, and we can use the results of this study na to advocate for reform nga, kasi it this tama nga tulad ng sabi mo, parang this is just a stepping stone to advocate for policy changes, to advocate for reforms para mabago from the root cause, yung like society based cause na siya. Yeah, anyone else? Okay. If ganun, next presenter please. Madam Cherry Blossom.
Sino yan? Tatlong letter.
Hindi ko alam.
So, yun. Ulit, reiterate ko lang, di ba? Our topic is based on gender-based violence. And actually, this topic has a lot of arrays within its umbrella kasi yung mga LGBTQ women, yun yung mga usually associated dito sa GBV. So, yun nga. And this violence can happen not only to women, LGBTQ, those people na nasa umbrella na yun, but also to men. Katulad nung sa research study nung kay Desiree. And it's just that the violence was been laid to them due to their genders. Yun yung masaklap. And background lang. Actually, nung nagsisearch ako for this research, ang gusto ko talaga is ang subject is men. Pero hindi ako masyadong makahanap kasi I have a specific interest na gusto kong kuhanan ng study. Since this topic is broad, I have to lay my specifics before I actually search sa Google Scholar ng field na gusto ko. And I want this research study to have alignment on what my interest. And then I remember yung sa may comfort women, may mga nakikita akong clips and merong TV show ngayon sa GMA pero hindi ako nanonood nun. Yun, parang something may World War II yung concept nila. And it gives me a hint. Okay, yun na yung kukunin kong specifics. And then doon na ako nag-search. I actually searched for violence on comfort women during the World War II in the Philippines. But unfortunately, yung mga researches is hindi siya readily accessible. And knowing na nasa third world country tayo, yung compare sa other countries, yung mga researches talaga is number of researches is hindi ganun kadami. And yon, hindi nga ako nakakuha. So, pero comfort women pa rin yung nakuha ko. So, here's the study. Psychiatric sequel of former comfort women, survivors of the Japanese military sexual slavery during World War II. So, sino nga ba tong comfort women? Alam kong you already have the idea who are these comfort women. But comfort women refers to young women and girls who were forced into sexual slavery by the Imperial Japanese military during the World War II. Itong young women, ano bang age nila nung kinidnap sila, inabduct sila from their family, sa mga bahay nila, sa mga baryo-baryo? Actually, itong young women refers to 11 to 20 years old. Imagine, di ba sa TOP natin, itong 11 to 20 years old, nasa may adolescence siya. Actually, 11, that's pre-teenager, di ba? And itong stage na to, yun pa lang yung naghahanap tayo ng identity. Paano pa kaya sila? Na-abduct sila, paulit-ulit silang sexually abused. Yun. Medyo mamaya pa yung topic na yun. So they were abducted from their homes in their countries under the Imperial Japanese rule, mostly from Korea, and the rest from China, Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, Indonesia, and the Netherlands. So hindi lang Korea at Philippines yung nagkaroon ng comfort women. Kasi remember, this was during the World War II. During the World War II, kasama ng Japan, ang Germany, and Russia, if I'm not mistaken, na nag-colonize ng ibang country. And yun yung ginawa nilang base ng mga camps nila. So what violence did they experience in the hands of these Japanese people? So comfort women endured extreme trauma involving rape, sexual torture, physical abuse, starvation, threats of death, and witnessed many others being tortured. So what does this study all about, Gaba? So this reviews all the studies that have investigated the psychiatric or psychosocial sequel of the survivors of the Japanese military sexual slavery. For me, I believe this study is not all about the gender-based violence, but in this study kasi we can get an extra knowledge pa kasi it is aligned in our field, psychology. And this semester, we have abnormal psychology talking about disorders, diba? So, yun yung talagang nag-catch sa akin. Yun yung hook kung bakit ko siya pinili. And this study was sensitive kasi imagine mo yung mga survivors, ilang taon na sila ngayon, senior citizen na sila ngayon, and the mortality was very clear na sa kanila, and then magkakaroon pa ng research na ganito. Yung memories nila, ano yun, tatandaan nila habang ini-interview sila or nagkakaroon ng study. So, the participants were unmarried. The participants' unmarried rate, rather, was relatively high, and their total fertility rate was relatively low. Bakit unmarried rate? Despite na nakawala na sila sa camp nung after ng World War II, meron kasing stigma doon. 'Di ba? Sila na yung victim, pero nung lumabas sila ng camp, nung bumalik na sila sa mga towns nila, sila pa tong naging taboo. Imbis na sila itong i-embrace to give recovery ng society nila, sila pa yung nagkaroon ng shame. Kasi nga comfort women sila eh. Yung face nila is devalued na sa mga tao. Yun yung naramdaman nila. And majority of the participants reported having no education and being low economic status. So yung status nila there's a glaring disparity talaga when it comes to gender. Additionally pala, dun sa fertility rate was relatively low. Kasi 'di ba, hindi ko marala kung exactly ilang years nagtagal yung World War II. They were sexually abused. So basically, may mga mabubuo talagang babies sa kanila. And itong Japanese people, pinapa-abort sila or nagkakaroon ng sterilization. Diba sa sterilization is, it greatly disturbs your reproductive system ng paulit-ulit. Paulit-ulit yung ginagawa sa kanila, 10 to 50 times a day, 4 years. Imagine. Napaka brutal. Brutal yun para sa akin. So the participants across the 6 studies varied between 6 and 26 survivors per study. Maliit lang na population, hindi na siya ganun na generalize kasi konti na lang yung mga survivors. And ang country pa na pinagbasean nitong study is sa Korea. Hindi na sila kumuha from China, from Philippines, purely sa Korea. Many of them endured long-term psychological and social hardships. A total of 20 survivors participated in the most recent study, which provided a more comprehensive review of their current mental health status. So what is the method used here in this study? The method used was the meta-analysis of 6 studies. 6 key studies, 4 of which used psychiatric evaluations, and 2 that concluded in-depth qualitative interview. Yung sa may psychiatric tools, gumamit sila ng structured clinical interview for DSM-5, were used to assess psychiatric conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, major depressive disorder, social anxiety, and other instruments including the geriatric depression scale. Geriatric means sa skill na siya sa mga senescence period, mga senior citizen. Kasi nga yung mga survivors is matatanda na nga naman talaga. Minnesota, another tool was the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory and Hamilton Depression and Anxiety Rating Scales. Another one is the qualitative data. In-depth interviews were employed to better understand the personal experiences and emotional states of survivors, revealing themes like guilt, stigma, and interpersonal struggles. So after the war, they have been put out in the camp, and what actually happened to them after the war? Do they recover? Do they receive treatments or whatsoever to ease that burden na nagkaroon sila battle? Intrinsically and extrinsically, there was a battle. But unfortunately, hindi. It's a long battle. Kasi, di ba, story time lang ulit. After nilang makalabas sa camp, walang nagsalita about that issue. Yung controversy, namatay lang siya, parang walang nangyari. Ito mga comfort women, nag-stay lang sila, they were silenced. Pero nung hindi na makimkim ng isang comfort women, lumabas siya publicly. Eh di ba that time tabu yun? Napag-usapan yun. Pero there was this woman, comfort woman, who stood up, who spoke about that violence. He demands an apology from these Japanese people na hindi nila binigay noon. Pero ngayon, nagkaroon naman na ng mga diplomat policies. Nag-sorry naman na sila. And here sa Philippines, may mga building sa mga schools na dinonate ng mga Japanese for kind of reconciliation sa ginawa nila sa comfort women. So recovery there is not that clear. Symptoms on disorders actually appears. They showed high current and lifetime prevalence in post-traumatic disorder, major depressive disorder, somatic disorder, and such. So the findings revealed that 65% of the participants were diagnosed with current PTSD, 90% experienced it at some point in their lives. Depression, anxiety, and panic disorders were also widespread. Survivors struggled with shame, guilt, and stigma related to their abuse, which hindered their interpersonal relationships and led to emotional detachment and learned helplessness. The trauma of captivity continued to affect both their physical and social well being, manifesting in somatic symptoms. So, yun. Yung mga trauma nila is the body manifests na through these disorders. Masaklap. Additionally, the lack of an official apology perpetuated this emotional distress and re-traumatization. Trauma sila inside the camp, paglabas nila, na-re-traumatize ulit sila. What really captured me emotionally is that this participants showed high suicidality, and majority of the participants is still reported being ashamed of being comfort women after all these years. Remember that this month is a suicide prevention month. And this violence, the trauma caused by violence really persists in life. Itong mga experience nila of trauma will only put to an end kapag namatay na sila. But the legacy, history, and everything that we can learn about what happened to comfort women will still remain here. Yun, di ba? Kaya natin pinag-aaralan. And lastly, what's irony is that they are being called comfort women, but for themselves. Did this event in their lives could be considered comfort? Diba? Actually, it's the other way around. Discomfort. Yes, they become comfort for these soldiers, but at what cost does this violence have gone far? They become the comfort for other people, especially naging toy sila sexually for these abusers. But for themselves is a big discomfort. So yun lang. Any form of violence will never be comfort. So, yun. In our generation is actually a privilege na may panganak dito kasi unti-unti nang na-empower ang women, ang lahat ng tao, na to speak up against violence, against cruelty. Yun lamang.
Yeah. Well put, well said nga eh. Sasabihin ko pa lang, magandang point yung sinabi mo na we are very like lucky to be born in this like time period we have in this generation we currently belong in. Kasi especially in this study, naha-highlight rin yung uh, parang disregard nila to the feelings or the how do you call like the inner struggles of the minorities during that time, especially the women, especially like we know na there was a time na women didn't even have the right to suffrage, like women were just relegated to the house. And dito naman natin nakikita yung parang pagka-manifest ng how do you call ng conservatism during that time, especially since na after the fact na nagamit na nga sila as comfort women, sila pa yung magiging like tabu pag-usapan, tas sila pa yung ginagawang parang object of ganun kahihiyan. Kaya it really shows how times change and kung gaano ka-lasting talaga ang effect ng sexual abuse. Kasi this was, syempre, this was rape, this was sexual abuse, and this was violence towards women. And dito natin nakikita na, especially psychologically, the long-lasting effects of these kinds of abuse and the trauma that comes with it. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, if wala nang mag-share ng comments nila, let's move on to the next presenter. Okay, Sir John Gemido.
So, good afternoon, everyone. The research na napili ko is entitled Mobility for Sex Work and Recent Experiences of Gender-Based Violence Among Female Sex Workers in Iringa, Tanzania, a longitudinal analysis. So, nung nagsesearch ako ng research paper, na-curious ako kasi among yung parang nilagay ko na keywords is parang common yung sa may Tanzania part. So, nag-research ako about the city na Iringa and yeah. Then I found out that according to the FinScope Tanzania 2017 Iringa Regional Report, nakasulat dun na primary education lang yung highest attainment ng majority sa population nila, approximately 63%, and yung city is wala silang consistent source of outcome, which are somehow some of the factors kaya majority sa kanila ay hindi nakatapos ng undergraduate program, which might also contribute to women entering into sex works. So on the study, wait lang, let us define muna kung ano nga ba yung meaning ng mobility, like mobility for sex work. So the term mobility is ginagamit siya sa cases na kung saan yung mga sex workers is nag-change sila ng working sites or living places within the cities. Like nagta-travel sila to do sex works and the likes. Okay, so 15 minutes lang. So I'll just gonna briefly explain this na lang. So on the study, in-state din dun na nagta-travel yung mga nagta-travel for sex work, it can lead to greater economic opportunities and earnings. So siguro yung sa pamamagitan ng sex work doon nila nakikita na they can earn more kasi nga 'di ba walang consistent source of income yung city nila. So saan nga ba sila madalas sumasama? So on the study that I have chosen, sinabi doon na agricultural and transport industries ang both increase demand for sex work across various locations in and outside of the region. So with this being stated, mostly yung mga client ng mga female sex workers dito sa Iringa ay yung mga truckers along the highway na kung saan sumasama sila dito to accompany them for the long haul trips without certainty na ligtas sila or kung makakabalik pa ba sila ng buhay, ganun. So very risky siya. So nagta-travel din yung mga female sex workers dito sa city na to sa mga mining communities para sa purpose nga ng sex work. And according sa 2016 to 2017 Tanzania HIV Impact Survey, yung HIV prevalence here is higher sa city ng Iringa, which is 11.3% among adults 15 years and older than nationally, which is 4.7%. So makikita natin dito na even minors are parang at greater risk of getting HIV. Now, with the facts presented, may idea na tayo about sa pag-uusapan natin today, and let's briefly delve to the dun sa may pinaka-paper. So ano nga ba yung objective ng paper na to? Yung objective ng paper nito is gusto nitong i-examine yung longitudinal relationship ng work-related mobility, tapos yung mga recent experience ng physical or sexual gender-based violence from a client or a partner among female sex workers sa Iringa. Then yung method na ginamit dito is a secondary data analysis. Kinonduct siya using a baseline, and after that, meron silang 18-month follow-up data from Project Shikamana. Then yung mga participants dito ay 387 female sex workers aged 18 years and older, participating both sa baseline and dun sa follow-up ang inanalyze. Then sa result ng study, nakita dito na recent physical or sexual violence from a client or partner was common, which approximately 40% sa baseline. Then sa mga nag-follow up naman on the 18-month is 29% na lang. Then 26% naman sa female sex workers na may baseline na 11% at sa follow-up had recently traveled outside of Iringa for sex work. Then sa final adjusted longitudinal model naman, yung mga female sex workers na recently mobile for sex work, meron silang increased 25% of risk sa any experience nila na-experience sila sa physical and sexual gender-based violence compared dun sa mga hindi nagta-travel for sex works. Now, given the data presented, nag-conclude yung study na dapat interventions must be created, such as mobile support na kung saan it can parang nagbibigay ito ng services dun sa mga female sex workers and linkages and referrals to health and other social services while traveling, para kahit na nagta-travel pa rin sila, they have parang meron pa rin silang weapon to at least call for help or something. And another is that the use of mobile or digital technology to address mobile female sex workers' unique needs while traveling. So yun nga, sinabi ko lang din ulit. Then, sinabi rin sa conclusion dito na future quantitative and qualitative research is needed to understand the context of female sex workers' mobility and how and why mobility influences risk environments and experiences of gender-based violence. So makikita natin dito na poverty really parang drives us into something that we don't want to do, pero yun lang yung choice. Pero as mental health practitioners, parang hindi dapat natin sila gina-judge, but instead gaya nga nito, kailangan din nating parang mag-learn pa ng more knowledge about interventions on how to parang avoid such cases, hindi lang din dito sa Iringa and also to other places. So yun lang, thank you.
Uh, okay. Very interesting and very bilis, sorry magsalita. Pero like, ito naman, ang comments ko dito sa ganun na to, sa study na to is very interesting. Like, being a sex worker and mobile, like, parang traveling for sex work, it's very, yung parang mapuput ka talaga sa panganib, ganun. Especially since very stigmatized ang sex workers na sinasabihan nila ng porket sex worker ka, parang sasabihin na, ay, ginusto mo yan if ever na nagkaroon ka ng parang nangyari sa'yo ang gender-based violence, especially like, or any violence in general actually. Parang being a sex worker is looked down upon sa society natin. Kaya similar to other minorities actually, para siyang paano ba? Para siyang dini-disregard when it comes to the fact na may report na violence towards them. So yeah, this study is good to bring to light yung mga issues na ganyan.
May comment din ako. Dito mo makikita talaga na may glaring disparity sa social status and gender sa ganitong bansa. Siguro ang intervention para malesen yung ganitong situation sa mga babae na they work na parang ano to, hindi siya, ayoko sabihin na immoral siya or unethical, pero kasi na-force sila sa ganyang work. Kasi kung titignan mo, bakit sila na-force sa ganitong work? Siguro wala talagang work available para sa mga babae. Kasi nga meron ding discrimination yan. That's a fact na may discrimination sa mga ganyan. And sa Tanzania, hindi ko alam yung country na yan, pero based dyan is, makikita mo na developing country din siguro yan. Yun lang, ang intervention sana dyan is bigyan ng mas maraming employment yung mga babae. Kahit siguro sa mga clothing line, food industry, kasi doon naman usually well-known ng mga women. And yun, masaklap lang kasi with their work, nakaka-acquire sila ng HIV. And yung HIV, hindi naman yun mag-end sa kanila eh. Mapapass through yun sa mga offsprings nila, and yung offsprings nila, magsasuffer din sa kung ano man yung dala ng HIV.
Yeah, that's a good point rin actually. Tapos something na minention mo is like the economic factor talaga ng pagiging like isang sex worker and their exposure talaga to many things such as HIV. Like Yeah, nice study, good study. Anyone else? Okay, if wala nang magko-comment, let's end this meeting. Tapos transfer tayo sa next link. Okay, so thank you guys. Let's transfer. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Sinong susunod na magpresent?
Hi, it's me, Jolo Pardito, and ang aking napiling topic is entitled Characteristics and Impacts of Conflict-Related Sexual Violence Against Men in the DRC, a Phenomenological Research Design. So, ang abstract ng research na to ay nagdi-discuss na it is a phenomenological research conducted on male survivors na victims ng sexual violence in the eastern region of the Congo. The findings revealed that the participants suffered from a wide range of psychological and physical wounds in addition to rape. Their experiences extended beyond sexual assaults, like including other forms of gender-based violence like genital mutilation, acts of penetrations with objects, and culturally inappropriate actions. This study also highlighted the significant and complex short and long-term impacts of sexual violence on the participants' lives. So, dito diniscuss yung effects ng lifelong trauma sa kanila in which because of the war and the physical and psychological abuse na na-experience ng mga male participants natin, they were so stricken to the point na nag-cause ito ng damage, nag-cause ito ng lifelong trauma sa kanila. The findings contribute to a better understanding of the controversial taboo subject of conflict-related sexual violence against men in the Congo. So parang yung research is katulad lang din ng research ni Desiree na nag-focus sa mga lalaki. They shed light on how gender impacts the participants' masculine identity, their experience of sexual victimization, and their healing journey. So nag-heal pala sila. So, like yung sinabi kanina ni Trixie and Sean na, na violence is not only limited to women or to, to women. Nangyayari din ito sa men. And then, can I just note na rape can happen to anybody, anong tawag dyan? Hindi lang ito nangyayari, nangyayari ito mainly sa women, pero nangyayari rin ito sa men, sa gays, pati rin sa LGBT community. And can I just also add na hindi porket i-add ko lang to, hindi porket na sinasabi ng mga tao na ganito ka so gusto mo yon. So example lalaki na experience ng rape. So lalaki naman yung mainly ng rape so gusto mo siguro yon. Hindi ganun yon. So the objective of this research is to understand the experiences ng mga lalaking survivors ng sexual violence in context of the war in the eastern region of Congo. The study aims to address the knowledge gap in existing research on this topic and provide deeper understanding of the psychological and physical wounds experienced by the male victims. So, ang method na gamit ay phenomenological study and was used to explore the experiences of male sexual violence survivors in the eastern region of the Congo. Purposive and snowball sampling ang nagamit para mag-select ng 14 male participants na naka-experience ng sexual violence. And the eastern region of Congo ang napili due to the high rates of conflict-related sexual violence. So, the study found that the male survivors of sexual violence in the eastern region of Congo experience a wide range of physical and psychological trauma. So, hindi lang physical abuse yung nakuha nila, hindi lang limited sa physical yung natanggap nila, also nakatanggap rin sila ng psychological trauma. They were subjected to various forms of gender-based violence, including physical violence and sexual violence. Sa physical violence like beating, torture, genital mutilation, and forced public humiliation. Sorry. And sa sexual violence naman, rape, anal penetration with objects, and forced exposure to sexual acts of others. These experiences had severe short-term and long-term consequences impacting their lives, physical health, mental well-being, relationship, and financial stability. So sa conclusion, ang conclusion ng research na to ay hina-highlight yung urgent need for increased awareness, support services, and healthcare access for male survivors of sexual violence in conflict-affected regions. The findings challenge sorry. The findings challenge common misconceptions about the nature and consequences of sexual violence against men and boys, emphasizing the diversity of experiences and the need for more comprehensive support. So, ang mga key points sa study na to ay diverse experiences. Diverse experiences, sorry. Male survivors experience a wide range of gender-based violence beyond just rape. So, sa mga tulad nga 'di ba ng sinabi niyo kanina na may stigma kapag sa violence na sa babae lang, limited lang sa babae, hindi nangyayari 'yun sa lalaki and then hindi lang rape yung natatanggap ng mga lalaking gender-based violence. Puwede ring, beating like ng sinabi ko kanina or psychological trauma. So second key point is the severe consequences. The trauma has long-lasting physical and psychological effects impacting their lives significantly. So yung mga nangyari sa mga lalaki kanina, so 14 men ay nag-cause ng lifelong trauma na naka-apekto sa buhay nila. And then third key points is the limited resources. Survivors face challenges in accessing healthcare and specialized support. And lastly, the potential for recovery. Despite the hardships, there is a potential for healing and growth through rediscovering meaning and developing new identity. So it is crucial to address these issues by promoting awareness, providing adequate resources, and challenging harmful stereotypes associated with masculinity and sexual violence. This research study has several implications for daily life and the practice of being a mental health advocate. So, parang sa last part ng research na 'to nakalagay kung anong kwan natin is, anong anong tawag dun? Anong epekto ng research na 'to sa atin? The study sheds light on the often overlooked issue of sexual violence against men and boys, challenging harmful stereotypes and misconception. This increased awareness can foster empathy, compassion, and support for survivors. The findings highlight the urgent need for specialized support services tailored to the unique needs of male survivors. This information can be used to advocate for increasing funding and resources for these services. By understanding the experiences of male survivors of sexual violence and advocating for their needs, mental health advocates can contribute to a more just and equitable society where all survivors access to the support and resources they need to heal and recover. So that's all about my research. Thank you for listening and God bless.
Wow. Uh, Isang comment ko dun sa discussion mo, particularly about the war. Similar to the study kanina about the comfort women, naisip ko lang dahil both are war-based, na parang na-correlate ko lang yung sexual abuse na na-experience ng men and boys in, where was this? Congo? Yeah. When the
Yes,
war,
kuya.
yeah, in the war in Congo. Uh, Parang sila yung, uh, in comparison to women the comfort women, I mean, who were used as primarily objects of sexual gratification. Dito naman makikita rin yung gender disparity na dito, they were also used. So it's parang when we talk about gender-based violence or rape or abuse, sexual abuse, m- usually the abuser does not discriminate on whether the victim is a boy or a girl. Gender based violence happens because the aggressor is yun nga, is the violent one who wants to parang take out all his aggression, especially dito with the men and the boys. Aggression in terms of sex, in terms of like they want to ano pa na ba, bugbugin, gusto nilang pahiyain, gusto nilang irapin. Like it's ganun. In the context of war kasi, hindi mo naman ma-justify yan. Like violence at this scale is not justifiable na dahil porket stress ako kailangan ko na tong gawin. It's reminiscent of the ganun, of the war currently in Palestine, the aggression towards Palestine made by Israel. Like this is in the context of war talaga. Uh it's very interesting to see how individuals act in the face of stress and how they pour out their aggression, and especially to whom they pour out that aggression. And in this case, it's the men and the boys. So thank you for that study. Anyone else? Anong mako-comment nyo? Okay. Okay. So let's move on to our next presenter, Madam Trixie Upano.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so sasabihin ko lang. Brief lang tong akin sana kung ma-arrange ko ang thoughts ko.
Go lang. Chill lang.
Pero
Chill.
tawag dito? Na-observe ko lang no dun sa mga studies natin. Ang ganda kasi parang iba-iba yung concept niya nung nahanap natin. Iba-ibang setting, merong historical base, ganyan. Tapos merong kasi usually kapag gender-based violence, unang naiisip dyan, yung mga hindi naman sa una, pero usually kasi unang naiisip dyan, yung sa violence kasi against women. Di ba yun yung unang naiisip? Kasi we live in a patriarchal society. Ayun, kaya usually yun yung lumalabas. Tapos ngayon, meron tayong manatatakal na study about sa sa men and boys. And ang ganda lang na may mga studying ganun. Anyway, so yung sa akin is, madali lang naman to i-comprehend. So parang siya, yung mo yung mga research, yung school-based research ganun, about siya sa mga students. So gender-based violence attitudes and dating violence experiences of students in nursing and other health sciences, a multi-center cross-sectional study. So basahin ko lang din muna tong abstract. O, di ba? Hindi ko mabasa. kapag kapag yung presentation ko masyadong sabihin niyo na lang. Okay? Thanks.
Yeah.
So sa abstract, basahin ko lang muna yung background. Gender-based violence is a major public health problem. Healthcare providers' ability to identify this type of violence and support victims may be influenced by their knowledge, attitudes, and beliefs, which require solid education. So baka doon pa lang may clue na kayo about this study. So objectives is to identify the gender-based violence attitudes and dating violence experiences of students in nursing and other health sciences. So the design is a multi-center cross-sectional study, and the setting of the study is conducted in 3 facilities of the University of A Coruña, Spain. And the participants were undergraduate students of nursing, podiatry, occupational therapy, and physiotherapy. So the methods is the attitudes towards gender and violence questionnaire and the dating violence questionnaire were used from October 29 to March 2020. And descriptive and inferential statistics were calculated to determine associated factors and identify differences in gender-based violence, attitudes, and dating violence experiences between sexes and degrees. So, as a result, is the data from 459 students were analyzed, of whom 180 studied nursing. The mean age was 20.9 and 76% were women. Statistically significant differences were obtained in attitudes towards gender-based violence. According to sex, where men displayed more sexist attitudes and violence justification. Results showed a significant difference in attitudes regarding the biological usefulness of sexism and violence between students of nursing and other health sciences. 61.9% of students had experienced one or more abusive behaviors in relationships. No significant differences were detected according to the degree. However, male students experienced dating violence more often than females. It was observed that students who had suffered dating violence showed greater agreement with sexist attitudes that justify violence. So the conclusion is students of health sciences, particularly males and nursing students, show sexist attitudes that justify gender-based violence. They also frequently experience dating violence, especially psychological violence. It is necessary to intensify or include education on these types of violence in the curricula of degrees in health sciences. So, para sa akin, no, okay din siya, maging applicable din siya para sa atin as psychology students. So, itong study kasi is about siya sa, yun na nga, dun sa undergraduate students. Fact is, before i-conduct itong study na to, yung mga estudyante na to is nag-undergo pa sila ng training about how to address ganun, how to address or how to help ba yung mga patient, kasi syempre mga nursing students and health programs sila, how to address yung mga uh, yung if ever na may situations na yung magiging patient nila is nakaranas ng gender based violence, ganun. And pero it was found na yung, so short lang to, sasabihin ko na lang yung last. So it was found na yung yung mga nurses and males and nurses. So males pala is mas mataas yung result sa kanila na na parang in result to ano tawag doon? In result to ano na yun? In result to parang nag-allow ng ng sexism or the gender-based violence according sa study, according sa result ng questionnaire nila. Pero it was also found na yung mga males na yun is within the relationships na naranasan nila, it was also found na yung mga males is mas mataas yung percentage na naka-experience sila ng abuse within relationships. Sabihin na lang natin, ano na sinabi dito na sa relationships is anong violence yun sa dating violence? Wait lang. Oh, basta yun. Basta yun. 'Di ba? Parang ironic kasi 'di ba sila yung mas mataas yung yung result, pero sila din pala yung mas naka-experience nun. Tapos sinabi din dito sa study na maliban doon sa ganun na nangyari doon sa men, is yung mga students na mataas ang result is naka-experience sila first hand ng violence na ganun. So parang kung maano mo dito, no, kung pwede mong i-apply dito yung confusion ng mga traumatized na tao, yung lalo yung mga 'di ba kasi kapag traumatized is it's either mag-overcome nila yung trauma or magiging normal sa kanila yung trauma. So I guess pwede mong i-apply dito na yung mga yung ang tawag dito, yung yung sinabi dito na yung mga mas mataas ang results na nag-aalaw ng sexism and gender-based violence is sila pa yung mga naka-experience talaga nun. So baka pwede rin na yung trauma na naranasan nila doon is dahil din sa first-hand experience nila. And then ayun. So ba't ko minumove? I'm sorry. And so doon sa last part sa conclusion nitong recommendation pala. Sa recommendation nitong study, sinabi dito na wait. Nasaan na 'yun? Binabasa ko. Limitations, conclusions. Okay. So, 'di ba yun nga sinabi ko kanina before the study was conducted ay nagkaroon ng ng parang training yung mga students. So sinabi dito na yung dapat yung the compulsory education on GBV or the gender-based violence that has been included in the curriculum of the nursing degree is limited and focuses on the use of clinical protocol allowing for the identification and assistance of victims of GBV. So regardless of the beliefs that future professionals have. So sinabi dito na parang kailangan kasi ang sinabi yung training is applied only in parang isang sem lang siya. Isang sem or it's a first semester ng first year nila ng degree nila. So sinasabi na dapat parang mas i-embrace pa siya yung topic about this, especially sa health health programs na parang i-embrace pa siya sa curriculum na hindi lang parang pahapyaw na subjects sa kasi so that's all.
Okay. Tinetake in ko pa lang yung study kasi there's a lot of possibilities na rin to further this study kasi sinabi mo it was just parang parang nakita na there were parang correlations, for example the nursing students who underwent what kind of ganun was that? Abuse? Basta there was abuse during their relationship. So, syempre hindi na go into yung correlation ng abuse and pagiging having sexist attitudes as well as yung attitude nila towards gender-based violence. And maganda rin yung sinabi mo na yung training na undergo nila was insufficient such that hindi siya effective enough. Kaya in terms of psychology, parang imagine na isang stimulus is or isang tinatry mo mag-condition, hindi enough yung reinforcement nun. Hindi siya within a long span of or a long period of time na ginawa. Kaya parang nangyayari yung mga ganyan na they're still exhibiting parang discrimination or stereotyping, ganun. Yeah. Anyway, kayo guys, ayaw nyo ba magsalita? Ayaw ko pa mag-present. Sige na nga. Let's go to the last study, which is the study that ako yung naka-research. Wow. It's a quasi-experimental study. So, good day everyone. So today I'll be discussing a study called Community-Based Intervention to Prevent Domestic Violence Against Women in the Reproductive Age in Northwestern Ethiopia. Ngayon, this study actually looks at how we can reduce domestic violence through community-based interventions, especially in areas where violence against women is common. Ngayon, di ba na-mention ko kanina sa introduction, yung kaninang introduction for this discussion na importante ang mga studies na ganito para maka-advocate or para first of all, to recognize na there is actually abuse or there is actually violence going on kahit hindi na nare-recognize ng mga tao. Why am I saying this? I'll get into that later. Tapos, something about this study rin kasi that interested me is its impact on, or its implications on the psychology of the women involved in this study. So, for a background, violence against women, especially within families or intimate relationships, or as we call domestic violence, or I'm gonna be using a term, intimate partner violence, or IPV, which is violence done by your intimate partner, regardless of whether you are married or not. So, violence against women in particular is a serious problem all over the world, syempre. Studies show that 1 in 3 women experience some form of violence during their lifetime. In Ethiopia, actually, kaya uh, maganda tong study is Ethiopia has one of the highest rates of violence against women, ranging from 19% to 78% of all the women, depending on the region. Now, the goal, like, to supplement that statistic, there are other studies rin kasi done also in Ethiopia, because uh, there are seminal studies done that between 10 countries na ni-study nila, nakita nila na the highest rates of IPV, or the intimate partner violence, was towards Ethiopian women, na lahat ng, among all the women they've interviewed, 70% actually said that they've experienced IPV during their lifetime. So, in addition to this, actually, in addition to this statistic, and something na I won't be going over na rin sa study, in the discussion of this study, na-discuss na kasi kanina, is its implications on uh, the HIV prevalence in Ethiopia, such that the HIV prevalence is actually higher in women, being 1.9% of the population, versus men, which is 1% of the population. So we can infer na from this, it's really, there's parang, how do I say, that sexual abuse is really a part of the gender-based violence that is being committed towards the women. So let's continue. The participants of this study, uh, involved 1,269 women. So women ang parang focus ng study. There are some studies, similar studies na done rin in Ethiopia, which involve like group education and counseling and programs and activities. Dito is nag-focus on women and their partners, all between the ages of 15 to 49, or the reproductive age, as classified by the study, all living in northwestern Ethiopia. Lahat itong mga babae na to, 1,269 women, it's either they are married or they are live in with someone. They are cohabitating. Yeah. They are cohabitating with someone else. Kasi hindi naman kailangan na you have to be legally married to live with someone or to live with a partner. Kaya yun yung isa sa mga scope ng studies na to. The women who are living with their partners. So the women were actually divided into 3 groups. So may intervention group. Ang intervention group is sila'y naka-receive, the women and their partners receive the parang full program, including advocacy workshops, training for community members, ano pa ba? Wait. Ayun. There were actually house to house community agents were actually going house to advocate for like or educate about violence against women, or gender-based violence against the women. They were ano pa ba? Ano na yung sinasabi ko? Ayun nga, yung methods na ginamit nila to ganun, sa active ganun, sa intervention group, I mean. Like, it was really parang full-on package na lahat na nagawa nila para sa ganun. So, the women and their partners ang kasali dito. Ngayon, another set of women, actually, may nakaseparate yan, is the next set of women were the active, or how do I say, the active comparator group. Active comparator group, ibig sabihin, isang set of women rin. Pero instead of women and their partners, sila lang yung nabigyan nung parang package na education, programs, consultation, everything. Instead of the women and their partner, yung women lang. And then of course, we have the control group. So yun yung tatlong groups. Intervention group na women and their partners, active comparator group which is the women only, and the control group which is walang nabigyan na treatment syempre. The methodology used was quasi-experimental, syempre. It incorporated both quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative dahil meron siyang numbers and data, qualitative kasi nag-interview rin sila ng women. Ngayon, nung nag-survey sila para makuha yung like view ng women, something about this study na na-mention kasi ni Trixie na iba-iba tayo ng focus ng studies natin. Yung dito sa study na to, it actually encompassed women having very, hindi naman low self-esteem, pero like they had a patriarchal point of view in the sense na yung sexist attitudes and ideologies is pinapaniwalaan rin nila, the women. Ngayon, the results of the study ngayon, thankfully, after undergoing the programs, the women na kasama yung partners nila and the women na hindi kasama yung partners nila, the intervention and active comparator, thankfully, it showed sa results na the rate of domestic violence decreased. The percentage of women experiencing violence, the women the women experiencing violence, the rate of women actually, dropped from 48% to 40%. Ngayon yun yung caveat nitong study na to na minention rin sa conclusion. Naka-help nga yung intervention programs, pero it's still rampant, especially in Ethiopia. Next is the attitude actually, the attitude of the women towards wife beating. Yung parang sasabihin na mag-agree ka ba na bubugbugin ka ng asawa mo dahil ginawa mo to. Thankfully, nag-decrease rin yun by 10% from 69 or close to 70%. From 70% to 59% yung pinababa niya. Hindi, mamaya ako nasasabihin yung ganun, yung interpretation. The acceptance of inequitable gender norms also decreased from 67% to 55%. And sexual violence, the sexual violence done against women, thankfully decreased 10% during the duration of the study or the research and intervention. So these results show that the intervention helped reduce violence and change harmful attitudes in the community, although the overall levels of violence remain high. Ngayon, the psychological impact of this study kasi is important because it addresses the mental health effects of domestic violence as well as giving light to the mentality of both the men and the women in the community of Ethiopia. Kasi women who experience domestic violence are at a higher risk of mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and syempre yung diniscuss natin earlier, multiple cases of PTSD. Ngayon, thankfully, the challenges and barriers of this study actually just came down to budgets, conservativeness ng pag-iisip ng mga tao, at saka better coordination pa sana daw. Pero thankfully, the political figures or the political leaders, local leaders, and etc. were actually open to help conduct this study. So it shows talaga na the times are changing. The times are improving for the better. They're becoming more progressive. The thinking of the people are becoming more progressive. And the conclusion of the study is the community-based intervention was effective in reducing domestic violence and changing harmful attitudes. Although the overall levels of violence remain high, which show there is there has to be a continuous effort na matuloy itong mga programs and projects na to. And yung mga pinag-usapan natin kanina na kailangan talaga these studies should only be a stepping stone, na it doesn't stop here, but these are the parang these are the things we need to present to better advocate, or uh to better call for reform and changes in our patriarchal society, so that the violence against women or gender-based violence in general should be stopped. The stigma, the stereotyping, and it's important to integrate these kinds of programs into existing community systems para ma-secure yung coordination between, syempre, the higher ups, the stakeholders, the people in the government. It trickles down talaga to the people. It's up to us to present, and it's up to them to change, to make the change happen. So, ayun. Basically, ang study na to, it shows na even though there's hindi ko sasabing minimal yung change dito, pero there's still change happening. Even though marami pa ring violence na nangyayari, especially in northwestern Ethiopia, it shows na with the proper things to supplement this activity, kung ito ang naka-reduce ng violence, naka-reduce ng domestic violence by 8%, hopefully succeeding programs or interventions, makaka-reduce na siya ng 12%, and then another 8%, another 7%, until unti-unting 100% totally na-eliminate na yung problem of domestic violence. So, that's all for my presentation. May masasabi ba kayo?
Ang lang, na-realize ko lang, parang ang ganda ng sequencing. Tapos diyan parte doon sa dulo nung sa'yo, no? Para siyang may happy ending. Hindi naman sa happy ending kasi, yun nga, pero ang ganda pa rin nung naging result nung study kasi although, may nagkaroon ng domestic violence, and although sinabi na konti lang yung naging, na hindi naman sa konti, yung sinasabi mo kanina, na may decrease, di ba? May decrease. So, ang ganda. Ang alarming lang din nung parang tumatak lang din bigla sa akin yung sinabi kanina na yung even women na parang inaalaw nila yung sexist na attitude, yun ba?
Yeah,
Ganon.
yung ideology, sila laga pa yung naniniwala. Like, na-ingrain sa ganun nila dahil sa patriarchal
So,
society.
ko rin, yun parang yung GBV has something to do with, is connected with culture din talaga siguro, no?
True, yeah.
Ganun. Ang ganda.
Yes, thank you for your comment. Anyone else?
Ko lang din. Maganda tong study kasi nag-focus siya sa intervention. Yung naisip ko, one has to make a ripple of change, and then everything follows na. Parang magkakaroon ng empowerment muna. Hindi, kailangan merong isang matatag yung loob. Para kapag nag-speak up siya, other will motivate na to voice out, to do something, intervention against this violence. And yun yung tinatawag natin na dapat yung collective mo empowered para ma-empower ka rin. And yun yung aim natin as a psychology student din. Yun yung aim natin na in the concern of care, empathy, passion and dedication sa field natin. Itong mga types ng hindi kaaya-ayang societal challenge na nangyayari sa atin is we must be the instrument for that ripple of effect. Ganon.
Yeah, yung parang sinasabi nila na ano yun? Yung 1,000-mile journey begins with a single step, ganun. Para
Ayun, ganun.
Yun din naisip ko kanina.
Hindi ka ma-praise.
yeah, yung parang yun nga. Parang magkakaroon ng catalyst for change in a sense na it takes yung
Yes.
ito na naman ako sa quotes ko, yung parang it takes a single spark para lumiyab yung apoy, ganun.
Ganon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ayun. So, anyone else?
Anyone else, guys?
Okay.
Or
Grabe.
takeaways na lang.
Oh,
Takeaways
takeaways
in
natin
general.
in general. Ah,
Yeah.
o kayo magsimula. Wait
John.
lang, nag-isip. John, go John.
John Gamido, I think you have something to say.
Choppy po
In
kayo.
general.
Go, anong takeaway mo, John?
Siguro na-overwhelmed din si John sa sa lahat tayo, sa mga information na nakuha natin ngayon. Kasi hindi lang siya nag-focus sa isang parang subject, sa isang method, pero complex siya, complex. Madami tayong na-explain na wow, sa mga explanations ninyo, sa abstract, sa mga insights nyo sa dulo uh, ng ng sharing of insights nyo is oo nga 'no, dapat gano'n yung gano'n yung, gawin natin to fight this one, to fight that one. Tapos yung iba naman, ay gano'n pala yung nangyayari dun sa bansang yun, na yun nga, we are privileged na kahit hindi naman tayo yung or first class country. Although meron talagang mga violence dito sa Philippines, pero hindi kasing lala ng ibang country na na-tackle dito sa brainstorming. Yun.
Yeah. Ang good, well said. Tapos, to add to that, napansin ko rin, isa sa mga key takeaways na ganun ko sa lahat ng studies natin is may mga parts na nag-overlap rin eh. Like, in terms of violence or the effects sa psychology or even dun sa parang parang consequence of the violence like HIV, like everything's really interconnected to the in a sense na gender-based violence is really parang isa siyang broad study encompassing very niche topics na interrelated pa rin siya. Kahit sabihin natin na iba naman yung experience ng boys, ng men sa women in terms of violence or sa children or regardless of gender or sexuality, everything really comes down to like paano ko ba masabi the mentality of things at saka like as psych students talaga it's interesting na pinag-aaralan natin to na what causes these kinds of problems, saan to naka-root, like for example many of these problems are really rooted sa patriarchal society and anong magagawa natin kahit like students pa lang tayo or kahit sa professions natin, anong gagawin natin to help change these things, to help solve these problems, ganun. How about you guys? Ano pang mga takeaways nyo sa mga na-discuss natin today?
Hello sa akin, may short comment lang din ako. So, sorry, may motor. So, alam naman natin na gender-based violence is a complex issue with, alam nyo, multi-faced cost and consequences. So, yung mga research natin sa mga, like yung mga provide natin na research on gender-based violence has yielded valuable insights that can inform prevention such as um, yung sa discrimination, trauma, community-based approaches. Oh my God, may motor, sorry. And then yung access rin to justice, ganon. So, ang ganda rin, like sinabi rin ni Trixie kanina na ang ganda nung sequencing ng research natin kasi parang kahit hindi sila pare-pareho, it's all connected since we're discussing on one topic like sa gender-based violence. Yun lang.
Thank you for that. Huwag na sana magkaroon ng truck. How
Sorry
about
sa motor guys, ang daming motor.
Go lang. How about the others? Meron pa ba kayong i-add? Okay na ba yun? Ganun? Are we satisfied with the conclusion of our discussion? Marami naman tayong natutunan, I think. So, I think let's adjourn this meeting. It was very ganun talaga. Medyo mahaba yung discussion natin pero it was very enlightening rin in a sense na marami rin tayong pinag-usapan, no? Okay. So, thank you guys. I'll compile these videos na lang or these documentations na i-upload ko sa YouTube for our requirement. Thank you guys.
Thank you po. Bye.
Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
God bless, and
Bye.
have a good day.